I want to, but because we have a lot to talk about tonight, I want to just get to the main topic that we made the thumbnail about, and if you want to bring up that Brizology tweet. So again, I'll go back to the poll question that I did put up for us here tonight, which is, what is, I don't remember. Let me get actually back into the live video. What is your opinion of meme coins? Are meme coins good or bad for PulseChain? So do you think they're great and bring adoption? Do you think, no, they're okay, you're a little wishy-washy, doesn't matter to you, or they extract value and hurt the chain? Overwhelming majority so far, about almost 50%, do say that they're great and bring adoption. About 38% say they're okay, don't matter to me, and 14% are Brizology and think that they extract value and hurt the chain. Not putting words in his mouth, but I think that's kind of what he meant with his tweet, which I thought was great. I'm really glad he did this thought exercise. And thank you for bringing it up, Ewok. So Brizology, of course, he of being on Maddie's stream fame pretty much weekly. He had an interesting engagement with Maddie on last week's show that was interesting for us to watch. But he posts, would you rather have the current PulseChain with all of its glorious memes and current price? He does call them glorious, so that's good. Or a PulseChain with only 4 RH assets and the price of Hex was $1. PulseChain and PulseX both at 1 cent each, and Ink at $1,000, but no memes whatsoever, except for Ink, if you consider the number one meme coin on PulseChain. Honest question. Somehow this, I don't even believe the results. Well, actually, I guess I do, because they're bag holders, but so am I. But so 80-20 concentrated wealth chain in the 4 RH assets, and then 20% enjoy the current culture with memes. Boy, I just have so many thoughts on this, and I just want to make clear, because it's so hard on the internet and stuff these days. I don't think anything negative or badly about Brizology at all. I love him. I love his show with Maddie. I know he appreciates our show and watches our show, and he's admitted, I mean, he disagrees with things we say and stuff like that, and I think we've always been able to do that civilly, and I appreciate what he does for the community, and he's a good voice in it, I think. Before I give my opinion or anything, I'm interested in your take on this poll question, I guess, at all, Ewok, and then I guess what your opinion is too, because I have some thoughts on it myself.
So my first thought on this is, all right, we're talking about PulseChain, we're not talking about Ethereum. When you talk about meme coins on Ethereum, it's so very hard to know who the founder is, to know who their background, or what their background is, where they came from. Are they a serial rug puller? Are they, just creating scam coins? In the past, we've always known them as that, right? Meme coins come up, they come and they go just as quickly. And if you're not in the first 5 minutes, you are not going to make anything. Even the people that get in a little bit later, most likely they're going to lose their money. It is still a zero-sum game, right? There's going to be losers and there's going to be winners. But we're talking about PulseChain now. We're talking about a different group of people that come from a different mindset. Not saying we don't have scammers here, because we do. But a lot of the meme coins that I've seen come out, there's a core group of people, or a couple core groups, that I don't believe have bad intentions. Therefore, you got to give them a little bit more credit than your typical ERC chain, where it's just a bunch of faceless anons that are launching these tokens. So they do hold a little bit more weight. I wouldn't call us a meme chain, but
no,
I think you need that type of stuff to bring them in, to see what else is here, to see the store of value for Hex, and hopefully, it does become that. Right now it's taking a beating, and it's pretty obvious to everybody that it got hurt the most, probably, out of all the tokens that were Richard Hart founded or whatever. That's my thought. It's just a different group, so I don't know that it's fair to classify these meme tokens as your generalized ERC meme coins, because we do know what group they're coming from, and we do know that these guys most of them have good intentions. I think that's the big difference.
Um, I think that's a great point. Yes, I do think the PulseChain is very unique in that it's not an apples to apples compared to Ethereum. Like
Right.
it's a obviously it doesn't do the volume of Ethereum. It's smaller at this point, and all that stuff. And when we say the meme coins on PulseChain, let's face it, we're talking about two small ecosystems. We're talking about two things. Now, yeah, there may be 30 coins or so that people talk about, and there are certainly meme coins outside of that, but we're talking about Tangang and the Atropa ecosystem. That is what we're talking about. So once you kind of get into PulseChain and you find out those two things and you realize that they're concentrated really within like two ecosystems, yes, maybe launched by different people. Yes, maybe like the Atropa ecosystem and all that stuff has a lot of different things going on, and you got to connect the dots and stuff like that. I love what they both have to offer because the Atropa ecosystem has all this actual like on-chain use case, potential stable coin with PDI and all these, all these things that you can really point to that are useful things that can happen for the chain eventually. Whereas the Tangang is basically meme coins, but also done so expertly with tying liquidity to other things to give everybody a fair shot to get in, and the charts just look fantastic because of it. And like you said, because it's a close, tight-knit community and people kind of know each other and everything, the commitment is there. You're not like, yeah, some people dump prices at some point, but go check out some of the Tangang coins. Like check out Pear, check out Chiton, check out and all this stuff. You don't see huge dips. Like the biggest pullbacks sometimes only like 30%. Like you just don't see it. Like OMG recently, we were talking about Orange Man Good, and like I was pissed that I didn't get in when it was just kind of flatlining before it really took off. I've been trying to tiptoe in. It's touched like 50% off for about 20 minutes so far. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, they don't go down. So I agree with your point entirely on that. I guess a bigger point that I wanted to make about this, and I don't know what Brizz's intentions kind of were with the tweet, like I guess maybe he was just curious what people would say. I just don't think it's useful to think about this, though. I mean, maybe if you want to have like a dream type world or something, but I would just rather go with what is, and we know what is. I mean, if you want to call, to me, it doesn't have to be these two things these two concrete things where it's like, okay, a meme chain and all these memes, or all the PulseChain tokens are up really well. Yeah, clearly, if that were the price, if what he has on that tweet were the price of all the PulseChain tokens right now, I mean, we would be doing pretty goddamn well. You know what I
Right.
mean? So yeah, of course, I would love that. But it isn't based in reality at all. So I just, when you yearn after things like that and resist what is, I think you're just going to suffer. You know what I mean? And especially at a market like this, you're just not going to do well. Because you're not going with the flow and you're not going with what is. And if you want to fight against that, that's fine. And I don't think anybody's going to do poorly by being in the core assets, but at all. I mean, it's the concentration of my entire crypto portfolio. Of course, I don't think that. I just think that to go against the grain and not see what is and see what these things are doing doesn't mean you have to invest in them, but like to root against them and like, I'll mention Crypto 7 because he does actively root against them. I just think that you're not going to be happy. You know what I mean? Just at least accept it for existing. Don't buy them if you don't want to, but to wish it didn't exist and think that it's hurting the chain or whatever. I'm not saying that's what Briz is saying. I don't think that's going to serve you well in any market. Like forget about PulseChain. I think like not, look at anything. I mean, like it's the people that like, it's Bitcoin maxis, like, oh, Ethereum's a scam and all this. I mean, okay. I mean, if that's how you want to look at it, but there's a whole market out there, and markets tend to become efficient over time, as somebody once said. So
I heard
yeah,
that too before. So,
yeah,
here's the other thing though. If we didn't have, because if we did have just the four assets and everybody fully focused on those four assets, what do you think the price would be at right now? I mean,
not good.
I think they would be great.
I don't.
I think if there were, I mean, I think there's so much other money going into a lot of these that it's become spread way thin. And in order to keep up, you've got to onboard that many more new people, right? Now, this does make it a grassroots movement where you do have to onboard new people, whether it be meme coins, core coins, whatever they are. but it's going to take a little bit longer, I think, to catch up. Whereas if a lot of these things weren't invented or weren't, and they were putting their time, energy, advertisement, money into the four core things, I think we'd see a lot better price right now. And I think we would also see a lot less toxicity and drama.
Well, I don't know about the toxicity and drama, but I mean, so I guess my question would be, what's happening on the chain in that case then? This is the thing that people talked about at the beginning, where it's like, well, I just like, what's happening on PulseChain then? Like, what is, where's all the action at? Where's the trades for the PulseX buy and burn to continue to go up and stuff like that? Because we're seeing that nobody really, I mean, the PulseX price is purely a sample of way too many people in at the beginning and everybody dumped. So
Yeah.
where without all these vibrant memes that are better than every other blockchain that we've seen, what are they doing? Like, are they just using
Personally,
these utility things?
well, personally, I think what would have happened if that would have been the case, you would see a lot more of the P coins
Hmm.
have a little bit more action. Um, maybe not. Maybe I could be completely wrong, but I think the overall sentiment of starting with the four pillars and getting them built first would have drawn some people over to claim their tokens. Maybe say, well, these guys got a lot going on. Look at the volume on these four different things. Right now, there's so many things that are spread out that there is a lot of volume and there's a lot of activity, but it's just spread amongst so many different little things that don't have a lot of liquidity, don't have a lot of value, 10, $15 million market cap coins that aren't standing out to anybody. And I think that had we focused on the four originally, you would have seen a lot of the like the CRO guys and the
Hmm.
Matic guys and the whoever else had a bunch of tokens that were free airdrops might have come over to play a little bit more. Again, it's
I don't
total
think so.
speculation, but that's just my opinion.